them to go extinct. N is for noise pollution. Due to the increase of human interaction on the ocean, there has been an increase in noise in the ocean. The noise affects many of the marine life as they are highly sensitive to noises, and the noises change their behavior as they are easily stressed out by it, causing them to leave their ecosystems and their niches, as well as even killing them. O is for overfishing. Because of humans' increase in population and rise of the top of the food chain, humans have started to overfish to the point that they are depleting the resources, and many of the species do not have time to repopulate, so that they go extinct. Many times the fishing does not need to occur, so they exploit the resources to the point that there's no more to go around. So they kill these animals for profit, and the consequences is that many of them will die out, and when it is truly needed, it will not be there. P is for pesticides. Also, as well, due to the increase in human populations, agriculture has become a major issue as well, since of their increase of pesticides, and pesticides have a lot of harmful effect as well as beneficial, but there's a lot of harmful effect. And due to the usage of pesticides in them, many times due to rain and poor transportation, many of the chemicals end up in the oceans or our water supplies. And because of that, many nitrogen fixating algae take advantage of that increase and are now able to grow exponentially and become a nuisance. Q is for the quality of water. Essentially, due to all these major factors such as increase in CO2 and chemical dumping, our water has been greatly affected and our quality has decreased a lot. And due to these changes in pH, temperature, salinity, and chemical exposure, much of the ocean water has become slowly more toxic and uninhabitable, as well as the drinking water. And this will cause a drastic change in the way we function. R is for the rise in sea level. Due to the melting of the glaciers from global warming, there's been a major rise in sea level. This rise will destroy many coastal ecosystems and it will pollute drinking water as well due to the combination of salinity, soil contamination, and this will lead to a lot of loss of life. S is for sunscreen. Many believe sunscreen to be very helpful, which it is. However, some sunscreens are very harmful to the oceans because of chemicals that are within it, and they allow for the processing of coral reef bleaching to speed up and can be very harmful to the wildlife. The chemical specifically is oxybenzone, aka BP3, and it's found to cause major effects on juvenile coral, and it makes them bleach. And they have their DNA destroyed, as well as they have mutations such as abnormal skeletal growth and deformities. T is for thermal halene circulation slowing. Due to thermal halene being a large-scale ocean circulation and changes found in that melting of the ice and temperature, because the ocean's currents are controlled by temperature, it is found that the ocean circulation has decreased by 15 to 20% in the last 200 years. And if this slows down, this will be very bad. And the repercussions would be that there would be a major change in the weather patterns, seasonal change, and overall global circulation and heat. And if this were to happen, a lot of problems would happen with animals, such as behavior, ecosystems. Many ecosystems rely on the weather and the climate that they exist in. And due to that, there would be like major extinction. U is for urbanization. Urbanization is the process of having a location become more urbanized and become more technologically developed due to the increase in technology and human civilizations. And due to that, human civilizations have started to take up more obscure locations and have started to destroy and make way for humans. They've destroyed valuable ecosystems and they have decreased biodiversity, as well as they destroy ecosystems through the use of pollution, chemical dumping, light and noise pollution. And by destroying these once like useful ecological locations, they destroy the habitat and lower biodiversity and cause a lot of species to go extinct, which in turn affects humans because we rely on these species to complete their jobs to gain resources from them. V is for violent weather patterns. This has a lot to do with the thermal halene circulation slowing down because the violent weather patterns that have occurred have really started to affect humans. from hurricanes to forest fires to tornadoes. And this change in the climate has created more radical and unpredictable weather patterns because the ocean's heating has allowed for more evaporation to occur, leading to boosts in rainstorms and blizzards and the inlands and blizzards in the inlands. And due to that change in ocean currents, there would be more severe heating, making parts that weren't dry before dry and some parts that weren't meant to be wet. This change will make life more unpredictable on Earth. W is for whaling. Whaling is the hunting of whales for food and oil. However, whaling has become so extreme that these efforts have created a huge gap in the whale population, essentially leading them towards extinction. All animals have roles in the ecosystem, and if one were to be plucked out, it would be potentially a catastrophic event on ecological levels. Essentially, if whales were to die, krill populations would increase, and many other populations were to increase that were not supposed to be as heavily increased, and this will make way for new species, and it would essentially just disrupt the whole ecological system. Some might not survive, some may be able to adapt, but it's so radical that it can't be for certain. X is for extinction, and this is because we're on the cusp of the 6th great mass extinction due to the culmination of several factors within pollution. And it is estimated that about 150 species go extinct per day due to increasing greenhouse gases, heat, human interaction, pollution, chemicals, and so much more. Animals are going extinct if they cannot quickly adapt to the increasing problem, as well if the problem is not fixed. This will leave many holes in the ecosystem, which will cause many collapses and loss in niches. Essentially, this will be a domino effect, and it all leads back to us. Y is for the yearly heat increase. The yearly heat increase indicated by the graph has shown that as time will go down, mainly due to pollution increases and mainly due to the increase of population and technological advancements, the planet has warmed as a result of greenhouse gases. The green gases have allowed for the ozone to thin and allow for more heat rays to become trapped in the biosphere and it causing more heat. This leads to sea level rising, death in populations, and shifts in climate and animal behavior. And this will radically change how ecosystems work and will radically change how they function, causing major disruptions, and it potentially lowers resources and food supplies all around. Essentially, this is showing that we're all just connected. It's not just humans being only in charge. We all work and live off of each other. Z is for zooplankton. And due to the increase in temperature, there's an increase in zooplankton reproduction. And since they are the primary consumers of phytoplankton, they can take in too much and substantially reduce the phytoplankton population. It offsets the balance and can destabilize a lot of ecosystems in the ocean. So thank you for watching my video on the ABCs of ocean pollution. And I hope you learned something from this. And